All right, everyone, welcome to Team Rise Up, where we rise by helping others. We are a team that fosters joy and connection and builds a community of generosity and excellence in all that we do. We daily encourage others in this very fun mission of dreaming big and inspiring healthy living around the world. And I think this weekend, as we're going to talk about tonight, was truly inspiring around the world, as for the first time ever, we had a worldwide conference where people could tune in from anywhere in the country, in our country, and in the multiple countries where we have Juice Plus to hear about what we're up to. And I don't know about you, but it just ignited, every training, everything I listen to always is just a little bit of a spark. It's just a little bit of something that does good things. So, but before we get into that, I love your glasses, Miriam. Those are great. Mine don't look as cool as yours. I should put mine on, but I think Roxanne's seen mine. Oh shoot, I think you're muted. I can't hear you. Okay, well, you can put us in the chat. You can tell us about it. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and let's see here. Whoops, actually forgot to share my screen first. Here we go. Okay, so these are our amazing products currently, but you will find out if you didn't listen to our training over the weekend is that we are going to have some updates on our complete as well as our chewables. So more information about that. But I love this image that I just found today, how it highlighted the omegas. I was like, oh, it's glorious. It's illuminated. And I think many of us that have added the omegas have seen significant benefits. And those of you, we've been hearing stories about how people can tell the difference in their inflammation and joint pain with the omegas. So just an encouragement if you aren't currently on the omegas, or if you want tools to share some different products with our current customers, we have some great tools to do that. Our Add More Good campaign has been extended. I need to update this image because it's through December 31st. Can you believe our generous company? We can still get free bags of shake through the 31st for adding a new family member to get Juice Plus for free through our Healthy Starts for Families program. So amazing, so generous. So we need to set a goal, and we need to figure out a better way to track that as a team for our Add More Good campaign. So be thinking about a goal we can set over the next 3 months for October, November, and December. And we'll talk more about that. So here's our weekly schedule. We're wrapping up the European conference tonight, some highlights and takeaways. And then we're going to do a tech splits for our healthy living presentation this Wednesday. We switched it from Thursday to Wednesday because of our amazing conference that's happening on Thursday and Friday. So we do have, I love that Kelly messaged, hey, can we update the image for it being on Wednesday? So Danny had done that, and it's on our Facebook page as, and I think we put it in Voxer, but if not, I can add that to Voxer. And I don't know if you've seen the schedule. It's a little hard to read, but our conference on Thursday for Pacific time starts at 4 p.m. Central or Pacific time, 4 p.m. Pacific time is when it starts. And we are going to do a Zoom for that, which is my Zoom link. That is our normal Wednesday night or Thursday night link. So just so you know, so we can all be together while we watch it. And then Friday's schedule is starts at 9 a.m. Pacific time and goes to 2 p.m. Pacific time. So again, we'll do the same thing, open it up through Zoom so you can hop on. And then this is kind of crucial because you can watch a conference delayed if it conflicts with your work schedule. Obviously, we understand that. Or you can just hop on after work, but we need you all to be present on Friday on this Zoom link at 2 p.m. Pacific, because $10,000 is being given away. And so for those of you that have been, moved a position in the company, your name's in the hat one time for each step in the marketing plan. Every time you are qualifying your business, that's another name in the hat. And if you are in POB, you get 2 names in the hat. So, whether you have 1 name in the hat or like 10, this is, we as a team are very blessed when we have contests like this. So, right, Jen? So this is, and unfortunately you have to be on in order to win. So even if you have to mute out, or just, if you could just be on, how long do you think it's going to be, Sharon?
Well, it's probably going to take at least 40, 45 minutes, because there's 40 prizes that are given away, 40. So Sandy Leonard is a little slow in talking. So we were going to probably cheer her on, but like we said on the Zoom the call this morning, if you win, I want you to unmute yourself and just give the biggest shout out, because I get excited if you win $50. So if you win, let's our team give a big shout out and unmute yourself and go, yay! Because they want to see you. And if they don't see you or you don't say anything, they are particularly thinking that you're not on the Zoom, and they will pick another name. So I want you really to know that if you hear your name called, unmute yourself and go, yay!
Don't worry.
Hey, I have a question. So
Yes.
the prizes, I saw all the different ones. How do you know which drawing for what? It was like 50 and then 100 and 250. Like, what are they drawing for each one?
It's just one big pot, Krista, and then they'll do, like, they'll start at the lower end, and then the last name they draw will be the $1,000 one. If that makes sense.
No matter if you,
no matter what,
no matter what. So yeah,
there could be somebody that just got to Partner Plus, and they could win $1,000.
Mm-hmm. Oh, awesome. Okay, because it used to be separated out. That's why I did.
So our team has always been separated, but if you went to the Burdick, which Bob Burdick did this, everybody got in the contest, and you sometimes were in there like 72 times. So this is how they're doing it this time too, but they're putting everybody in one pile, and then the chances are good. It's like, I don't know, 1 in 5 chances. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah,
it's very exciting.
Sharon,
especially if you have your name in there a lot of times. So
yeah,
that's the most exciting thing.
Do we need to get you numbers at all? On like how many times are
your upline already did that?
Sweet.
So good. Love it, love it. Okay, so with that, we're going to recap a little bit from our European training. So we're going to start off with Jay Martin, and Krista, I think, is going to share a little bit of her takeaways from that.
Yes. Okay, so I love to hear Jay Martin speak. I just think he's just awesome, and he started this company, so I just love that about him. So when he was talking, I loved when he said that the children are our future, and I know sometimes that can be a little like, that's kind of funny or whatever, but it is so true. And then to think about how many thousands and thousands and thousands of children are on the Juice Plus, the free Juice Plus.
Healthy Starts for families.
Yes, thank you. It couldn't come out of my brain. So, how many kids are on that, and how many kids are getting it for free, and how many families that are doing that. And, I just started thinking about the kids that started Plus. If you think Kelly, Jenna Rude, Bruce, I can't think of his last name, but he's the one that kind of came up with this Y movement thing. Like, those people are the generations moving forward in this Juice Plus company. And these are kids that had started at such young ages on this. And so I just thought that was really awesome when you said that. And then also just talking about the business, that it's not just a business, it's a mission. It's like a family mission, it's a community, business and mission. And think about it, there's really not much risk involved. It's $50 and you own your own virtual franchise. And I know a lot of times we just like say that to people, but really, if you think about it, that is huge that we can own our own virtual franchise for $50, and not have to like put a ton of money into it. It's very low risk. And then to keep that position, I mean, you guys know that's part of what I talk about, but I don't know, just hearing him say those things again just got me so excited to be able to share this business more with people because it truly is low risk and it's such a great company and 50 years now. And he's just an awesome man. And I was just so inspired by the things he was saying. So
Love it. Thank you. And, for those of you that don't know his whole story, he is still the founding acting president today, which not very many companies can say that, that after 50 years that he's still at the helm, which is pretty amazing. Okay, so we had like Bear Grylls. So
All right.
thanks,
So,
Dan.
yeah, so he was so incredibly inspiring. And there were 3 words that he shared with us. And I'm going to talk fast because there was so much there. But he basically talked about his own experience. And you might not know, I mean, most of us know who he is. We've seen his television shows, the extreme kinds of things that he does. But he was also British Special Forces. And he shared that actually when he applied the first time, he flunked out basically. He wasn't good enough. He didn't make it. He was returned to his regular unit. And he just talked about he talked about 3 F's being very important. The first one being failure. And he said that he did end up in the British Special Forces, but only he applied again the second time. And out of 19 new recruits, only 4 of them made it. And 3 of those 4 had failed the first time. And he just talked about the resilience and the strength and the learning that comes from failure and how we are to embrace it, not run from it, and that it's really the doorway that leads us into successes. And so that was the first F. And then the second one he talked about that we all relate to is fear. And he said how we react to the testing in our lives is everything. He said that, and I love this when he said this, life doesn't always reward the brilliant or the talented. Life rewards the determined. And I loved that. He says, walk towards your fears. It's a conscious choice to do the difficult stuff, and to face it, run from it, and use it. He basically said that we should become friends with our fear, and he used great examples. And so I really encourage you to go back and to listen to that. We have a couple more days to do that, but listen to his stories because they're very inspiring. And the third one that he talked about was the power, which he used the word fire. And he said, how do we access the fire? The fire really is what causes us to keep moving forward against all odds. And it really is what we're made of when it hurts. So the one thing that he said that I really loved about this is he said, sometimes all we have left is an ember. An ember is all that it takes. And I really love that because I don't know about you, but there are times in my life where I'm fired up, I'm excited, I've got momentum, I'm moving forward. And then life happens. And it's hard to get that momentum again. It's hard to get mentally back to where you need to be so that you've got that power, that fire that's making you keep going. And I love the fact that he said, sometimes an ember is all it takes. So the question that I would ask you is, what's the ember for you that you need to fan into flame? And so that's maybe something, if we do have breakouts, that we can talk about, or you can think about this week. But what is the ember for you? What is it that keeps you going against all odds? And I have to say that listening to him, I was also hearing Sharon Hilgen again, because once again, Mama Sharon tells us just stay in line, because he used the term over and over, and I loved it. NGU, never give up. Stay in line.
Yeah, I like it. I also loved how he says, calm is contagious. Like that is so true. You think about when people start freaking out, you're like, oh man, should I be freaking out? But like how you can just take a breath and choose calm, and you have to like put it on. I liked that. He kind of talked about putting on calm. That was good
Yeah,
too.
I had that too, and I wanted to add to that, because he said the best reason to put calm on is that in a crisis it becomes you. It's a muscle that we have to practice. And he says the alternative to chaos, or to calm, is chaos. Nothing happens in chaos. We can't think in chaos. We don't function well in chaos. So put on calm. Calm is contagious.
Boom. Love it. So good. Okay. Product renovations, I guess is what you could say is next.
Yeah, so can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I have these new headphones in and I can't hear anything other than myself right now. So Lisa Pebble was talking about how we are redoing the complete, and we're going to come out with a non-soy version, which I think is just phenomenal because some people either allergic to soy or just averted to using soy. So that will be really fun to have that. And coming out with a complete version that is, so the new version will have vanilla and chocolate, just like the original version. And then they're coming out with a different version that's going to have 25 grams of protein, and it's going to be a berry flavored that is completely different than what we currently have. And I thought that was fabulous because athletes after workouts are looking for something that's high protein. Bodybuilders are always looking for something high protein. So it'll be a good tool for especially that market. I think she wasn't specifically talking about athletes, but I just thought that like immediately in my head, I was like, yes, this is going to be awesome, especially for that market of people. So those are two of the complete products. And then she was talking about the Chewies, and they kind of have mentioned this before, but they're going to try to renovate the Chewies, and it wasn't clear whether they were going to replace the current ones or keep this and the other ones, but basically they're trying to make it 1-for-1. So one capsule equals one Chewy. So get like the more nutrients in each Chewy, and then maybe decreasing the sugar. So she was talking about, she didn't say like some consultants, all consultants, partners, but basically she wants us to be their taste testers and see like what we think of the texture and the flavor, and if we like them, if we don't like them, that kind of thing. So I thought that was really cool that they're going to involve us in kind of the decision making, because I know some of us, when we originally heard about some of the complete changes, we were like, So the good things coming down in the product line. And do you want me to talk about global stories too?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So there were also a bunch of stories that were shared by global partners, just quick little snippets, but they were really, they were great to just hear. And they had, not a lot of options before, but then joining the Juice Plus company has given them a lot of financial freedom and a lot of joy. And one lady was talking about how she had this whole plan of how she was going to be successful. It was like a 10-year plan or something. She got to the end of those 10 years and she was nowhere close to like making it, and she was not doing well like mentally and stuff. And so she decided to try Juice Plus, and now just the joy that's come from doing this business, it providing her with a lot of flexibility and options that she wanted. And then Mitra mentioned how in her culture, they had this phrase. I don't remember what the phrase is, but basically it's be a human. And that doesn't mean just like be a human, but it means like have a life of purpose. And so she talked about having a life that's worth living and having a purposeful life. And I like that a lot, because we try to live intentionally while we're doing this business. So, but it was really cool just hearing about partners around the world that are doing what we're doing and have the same passion and mission, and that we really are like one-minded around the world.
Yes, so true. And how they gave awards to everyone in every country. What was it? Um, Folks who represented their values well. So I love that. I'd never seen an award. Maybe Sharon, you've seen an award like that before? No. Okay, that's what I thought. I thought it was a new award. So that was really cool. And just again, to get those little snapshots of these different people from around the world and their stories. I love that. So great. Okay. How about Mr. Gary V?
Yeah. So, if you don't know who Gary Vee is, he is a just really widely known entrepreneur, who is very famous. He's like got like 5 New York Times bestselling books, like just ridiculous. But I really loved the interview style that was done with him, and they just asked really good questions. So, especially for new partners or like leaders in coaching other partners, like he just answered questions that I think come up a lot in terms of like mindset and social media. So like one of the questions was like, if I'm 50 years old, like how like addressing like feeling like I can be an entrepreneur and like start when I'm 50. And so it was like super good. So anyways, I screen record some of them. I'm going to put them on the Team Rise Up Facebook page, but I would just like kind of bookmark that and like reference back to it. I really feel like as leaders, we will want to tag partners in that when they need a refresher of that they can do this, and to hear it from someone else who has been a successful entrepreneur. And I loved the analogy that he used about social media. If anyone has a block around social media, he said to like find your style. So like if you really love having in-person conversations, you love like going to a coffee shop and like talking with someone, that video would be that online, versus like written word if you like time to process and like get your thoughts out. That people have different communication styles and different skills in that, and that it really is a skill. And then he used the analogy of like going to the gym for social media. Like the only difference between someone who's really good at social media and someone who's quote unquote not is because the one person has done more reps. Like lifting weights is a skill, is a thing that you have to do a lot of repetition on. And he said the scary part of that is like when you can have a gym inside your home and no one can see you and you can do reps by yourself, but social media is out there and it's for all to see. You're like, it's even more so, I'd say, vulnerable than like being at a gym. So he just gave really great analogies and really good perspective on that. And so, like I said, I'm going to post that on the Team Rise Up Facebook page to be able to tag people in to remind them about it.
Awesome. Love it. Love it. And Kelly, Rach, Miriam, if you were able to, see any of it, was there something that stood out to you that was a positive highlight? And no worries if you didn't have a chance.
I have to agree with Danny. I really liked Bear Grylls. I've watched some of his shows before just because he's like such a cool adventurer, and I had no idea that like he took Juice Plus, but it makes so much sense now. Like just knowing his like energy level and his ability to just, I mean, I know it's a show, but I just feel like the way he's been able to like overcome some of the sicknesses that injuries that he's had. And yeah, I agree with what Danny said. I just really enjoyed some of the stuff he said just about like encouraging and just staying in line, and that it's not embers and ashes, but ashes and embers really stuck out to me. My words are flowing so good tonight. So anyway, that was my biggest takeaway.
Sorry, I was muted. Thanks, Rach. Kelly, how about you?
I was with Jen. I liked both Bear and Gary's talk, but I thought Gary's was really good. Just I liked the style in terms of the question and answer. And then also just, you could tell he was speaking from kind of a pretty great depth in terms of entrepreneurship and that type of thing. And I liked his analogies as well.
Awesome. Yes, well, I couldn't have gotten more like excited about like having team and, you know, internationally. Like that to me was the first like vivid picture of like how we can connect, because Sharon knows some of my stories with trying to sign on partners in other countries, and it didn't go very well. And so now I feel like we're just gaining more tools to really truly be a global company, but also a global team, you know. And I'm excited to see how God weaves that all together for us. So that's super exciting. So I guess we don't have enough time to do breakout rooms, but I wanted to see, you know, from all these things we kind of reviewed or talked about, whether it's, you know, washing, you know, you're hearing it for the second or third time, a repeat, or for the first time, you know, what's one takeaway, one action item you can do this week with something you've learned? So like, and to take what we've learned and put it into action. So you can put them in the chats if you think of something, or just share out loud, or I'll just call on you. As Jen likes to say, just call on people. Okay, Jen, I'm calling on you.
Call me first.
I know, right? See?
But it's fine because then we're more efficient, and I'm all about being efficient.
There you go. So there you go.
My action step is going to be posting the videos in the Team Rise Up Facebook group.
Okay, sharing the wealth. I like it. All right.
I have one. I still haven't watched Bear's thing, and so I was trying to watch that today, and I wanted to because one of my customers back like 2 years ago, she saw a little thing. I don't know where it was. It could have been on one of his shows. He talked about Juice Plus, and she was like, I didn't know he took this. We were watching this, and she's like, I realize that's what you have, and I want to order. So they took it for a while, and they canceled about a year ago. So I want to kind of watch it and then say, this is what I learned. I watched him, and just kind of reconnect with her. So
that's awesome. That's a great tool. And he's been taking it since he was 15 years old. So that's pretty cool. And how Sharon even said, he didn't go into it on this, but Sharon, will you quickly just share what he said at the San Diego conference years ago that you told me today?
So this was at the Long Beach conference in 2013. We actually got to see him live on stage. And in his story, he didn't mention that when he was on Mount Everest, 2 people had died, which he said, and then he went up and he still kept going. But he said, one thing that helped me keep going was the shakes, and no one else had those shakes on that mountain. And I was like, wow. And all, you know, literally water and the shakes. And he had enough energy to get up to that mountain and come back down. But he said, he said his whole body was breaking down, his whole atmosphere, I mean, everything. It was so cold. But the one thing he said, everybody else had little things that they were eating on the way, but he said the shake really kept him going. So I was like, wow, he's an amazing man anyways. So
Yeah, that's so awesome. I loved hearing that. So hopefully that's helpful to Krista, information, you know, that the shakes and the capsules and stuff, but you'll like it. Okay, who else? Okay, Danny. Rochelle.
Yeah, so I don't remember if it was Bear or Gary V who was talking about gap, gratitude, accountability, and perspective. But just when you're down, how those 3 you really need to start with gratitude, because it's going to change your attitude. and then have somebody you're accountable to, just to take that action step so you're not wallowing in your depression or whatever. And then changing your perspective so you actually come out on top. And it was interesting because it's just finishing the joy challenge that kind of ties in where our minds really control our emotions and our goals and how we're going to reach those goals. And if we let our emotions take us down, then we're not going to get anywhere. So
I love
Well
that.
said.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. So awesome. So good. I just re-highlighted it on my notes because I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about the gaps. Yeah, that's good. Okay.
So do you want me to say something?
Yes.
Okay, so back to Bear Grylls. One of the things that he talked about that just struck me is he was talking about, somebody asked the question, how do you silence the voice in your head that says, I can't do this? And he says, you always drown out the negative with the positive. You drown it out with better voices. It's the light instead of the darkness. And one of the tips that he gave that I think is amazing is he said, when you come across those positive things and those positive thoughts or affirmations or declarations or whatever, he says, physically writing down those positive things and attitudes for your life does something to help cement it in your brain. And so my thought after I heard that was I'm just going to get a notebook, and every time I come across one of those powerful sayings, like for instance, calm is contagious, I'm going to write that down. And when I need to fan that ember into flame because it's kind of died down, I can pull out that little notebook and I can just start reading through there and just reminding myself of what is true and focusing on the positive.
So good. It's awesome. Okay. Kelly, Rach.
I'll go real quick. I agree with what Amy said. What I thought during the conference is I need to get back to doing like affirmation statements because I've been not doing those. But it totally reminded me that I need to be doing that. And that kind of goes with the Joy Challenge too. But like, I just need to get back to affirming what's true and letting that take me up instead of all the negative things that bring me down.
So good. Way to go. Good job.
And before the conference, I told Krista October is a month. We're going to be a month on fire. So I thought it was funny that Bear mentioned fire because I was like, oh, we already talked about this.
Fire.
Awesome.
I like that. Fire. Sounds good.
October fire. We need to come up with a slogan for October.
Ooh.
Put it in the chat. Put it in the Voxer when you come up with the October fire, whatever it is.
Oh, I think that's good. Yeah. Let's dream up more of that. Okay, how about Kelly, Krista? Oh, Krista already said.
So as far as what Danny was saying, like what's that ember? I kind of Gary Vee, when he talked about the reps and just kind of especially for like being so new into this, just how the reps will kind of make you each time better and better with presenting things, with finding your style and so forth like that. So that was kind of my motivation for when the embers, when it's just down to embers.
That's awesome. So good. Okay, Rach.
I think my goal for this week is to finish watching it. I got most of it done, but not all of it. So I want to finish watching it before it closes, and just excited to participate in our US one. So yeah.
Ooh, Roxanne said fall fire. Ooh, that's good. I like it. I like it. Okay, so we're going to wrap up our evening and then head into our text blitzing. So I'm going to make sure we're going to have a great on fire week with our US conference and with we already have people signed up to come on Wednesday. So we're looking forward to a great turnout for our Wednesday Zooms. So we're going to continue to invite tonight. And I'm going to stop recording.